Season 4 is officially here, and it kicks off with the biggest race in NASCAR, the Daytona 500, as we seek our first 500 of our career as we kick off our second season with Joe Gibbs Racing. Hello everybody, and thank you for waiting patiently for the new season to arrive. It's going to be a heck of a season. We've got big roster changes, a brand new calendar format changes, as well as the largest rookie class we have seen to date, and probably the largest one we will ever see going forward. Now, big stories, of course, coming into the season. Kyle Busch, his first ever winless season last episode. Big roster moves like Todd Gilliland to Penske Racing. Austin Hill into the number 3 as Austin Dillon, of course, has retired. And him and Kevin Harvick now go into a management role at Richard Childress Racing as Childress steps down. Carson Hocevar and as well Noah Gragson field 2 of the full-time cars for Junior Motorsports, a new team on the grid this season, but you see the 7 part-time car driven this weekend by Martin Truex Jr. A brand new driver at Joe Gibbs Racing, replacing the retiring Denny Hamlin. That's the 18 that comes back to the grid with Chandler Smith, rookie teammate to us now, as you see another, of course, change up with the 98, the 4th RFK full-time car now this season with Chase Briscoe behind the wheel. More rookies such as Christian Eckes for Rick Ware Racing, Jesse Love with the Richard Childress Racing team, Ty Gibbs, a defending champion, but it didn't come without controversy last season. If you guys watched that season finale, you know how it ended. Here's what Gibbs had to say.
No one thinks I deserved the championship last year, but I'm simply going to prove them wrong. You can change the format, but we're still going to be the toughest team to beat this year.
Gibbs coming out swinging right off the bat. If you watch the season finale, you know exactly what he's alluding to. Now is, of course, we have Honda in the field joining us this season with 2 teams. Trackhouse Racing with the 3 teams there, including Shane Van Gisbergen, but as well Andretti Global as they expand to 3 full-time cars as well. In the field, Denny Hamlin, the 2nd part-time driver in the 0-1. He'll be 67 for his other races this season as he looks to get another 4th Daytona 500. Tyler Reddick, winless last season. He looks to change that as he now has a 3rd full-time teammate now, or 2nd full-time teammate, the 11 of Corey Heim. Rajah Caruth into the 48 this season, replacing Corey LaJoie, who goes down to Xfinity Series action. Alex Bowman in the 31 for Richard Childress Racing, of course, and as well Ryan Preece. Same team, new number from the 15 to the 51, as you see one of the Andretti Global rookies of Nick Sanchez in the 26. They've got 2 rookies this season, Sanchez and Connor Zilish alongside Sammy Smith. There's Zane Smith in the 38, Custer's number 52 for Rick Ware Racing, and there you see Connor Zilish's Lowe's Honda Accord. Now, as you see at the very back of the grid, Meyer Shanks, Austin Cindric, ready to take on this Daytona 500 weekend. It all starts with qualifying with the brand new Toyota Camry body as we have our Domino's paint scheme on board with us this weekend as we would kick off qualifying for the Daytona 500. We know exactly where we're going to end up. We have a lot of action coming this weekend. However, we're doing the Truck Series, Xfinity Series races as well, so you'll see some of the new roster moves there, the new paint schemes as well. As we come through, though, in qualifying to cross the stripe, it's going to be dead last. We already know that, so it's going to be P40, just behind Ryan Preece and actually Kyle Larson, but all the way up at the front row, pole position, Bubba Wallace and Austin Cindric will be your front row, with Martin Truex Jr., the 3rd part-time entry for Junior Motorsports in their first season in Cup Series action, up there in the mix as well, as you see the top 20 rounded out by Chris Buescher, who would love a better season here, as you see the rest of the qualifying order. It's now time for some Truck Series action, however, as we fast forward now a few days later, Friday night here behind the wheel of this Tricon number 1 Toyota. Last season we did some races for this team, and we as well have done some Xfinity races. It's going to be the same thing this season. However, we do have to follow now that we've done 3 full-time seasons in our Cup Series career. We now have to follow the rules and limitations to where we can only do 5 races in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series per season. So Daytona going to be one of them for both series now, and you can see right off the bat getting at it actually was Stephen Parsons in the 75 5. But we would quickly link up with a rookie here in the number 5. That's Gio Ruggiero, one of the upcoming prospects that we have to pay attention to coming into this season. As well, actually a big name in the Truck Series field this weekend, Max Verstappen, still off season for Formula 1. Verstappen's actually come over and entered the Truck Series field for this race, so you will see him a little bit later on. As you can see myself, this is already the final lap of stage 2, just slowly working our way forward, passing the number 31 there and just trying to get what we can out of it now as we roll through out of turn 4 down this front straightaway on this final lap of stage 2, and we're just outside of the top 10 as we come through to the stripe. One of the other notable roster moves in the Truck Series as well is Cam Waters comes over from the Australian V8 Supercar Series into a full-time Truck Series ride, and you see Max Verstappen in the number 22 as he is still likely going to have another start or two this season, as well as he wants to venture off into other forms of motorsports now and give them a shot now. Of course, you'll never see Max Verstappen full-time, but certainly some part-time efforts and maybe an opportunity to get him linked up with Trackhouse for Project 91 a little bit later on this season as well. We'll have to wait and see, but maybe the limitations of manufacturers might not allow that. But nonetheless, actually a caution coming out late from Kaz Gralla, and the 41 Silverado there would force us into overtime with Tyler Ankrum and Ben Rhodes running first and second. We would quickly make work on Ben Rhodes and get into the second position, and actually we've got Josh Balicki just behind us in the 18, who's going to give us a big shot to the bumper down this backstretch, and that's going to get us to the inside of Tyler Ankrum. We have yet to win at Daytona. We've won a plate race before, Talladega, but we've not been able to pick up a win in Daytona. Of course, the big goal is to win the Daytona 500, but a truck win would certainly be no complaints from me. But unfortunately, on the final lap, you see Ankrum on the top gets a huge run, and he would get clear and drop to the bottom, and it wasn't going to be enough. We are going to have to settle for second place, but Tyler Ankrum puts himself into the Truck Series playoffs right off the bat as we come through for a second place result here. Ankrum picks up the win over myself, Balicki, Rhodes, and Brent Cruz, another up-and-coming rookie in the Truck Series to pay attention to. So really, the main ones that we're watching here in the Truck Series this season, as you see the rest of the finishing order, is Gio Ruggiero and Brent Cruz. Those are the two guys that you're going to need to pay attention to. But we have Xfinity drivers to pay attention to as well. We come into the Xfinity Series here from Daytona International Speedway on Saturday afternoon, starting, of course, from the back. And one of the biggest prospects that we're paying attention to here in the Xfinity Series is actually an Andretti Global driver. So Andretti has expanded into the Xfinity Series. They now have a team in trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series. Now, of course, last season they also had a truck team. This season they expand into the Xfinity Series. Well, they have picked up an ARCA driver, actually, who's skipping right over trucks, Ty Gibbs style, and that's actually Andres Perez. So pay attention to that young rookie as well here. Now, as you can see us making moves, there's Haley Deegan actually behind the wheel of the number 60 RFK Ford Mustang now that Stuart Haas Racing, of course, has shut down. She still was able to find a ride here. Now, as you can actually see, some of the new drivers here, including the 3 of Parker Kligerman, the 19 now driven by Ty Dillon. I know there's a 19 on my car. I'm going to get that fixed ASAP. Penske Racing has returned to the Xfinity Series with the 22, but it's now Harrison Burton behind the wheel. Behind us in the 81, it's Ryan Truex. The number 20 car has Taylor Gray behind the wheel. Trackhouse, of course, lost Connor Zilish. He went up to the Cup Series to Andretti. That meant that Daniel Suarez, actually, they reunite with him and bring him into their Xfinity Series program. And there you see the 98 of Perez, a rookie that we're going to have to pay a lot of attention to this season as we come through at a turn 4, coming to already the final lap of this race here in Daytona. And it was actually a part-time car out in front. It's actually Frankie Muniz leading the way on this final lap as we make a move to the inside of Caden Honeycutt, who as well has moved up into the Xfinity Series now. As you see, Parker Retzlaff here just in front of us in the number 2. There's Ryan Vargas on the far outside in the 91, but it's part-time driver Frankie Muniz who's going to come through down this front straightaway. Full-time truck driver behind the wheel of the 88. He wins in Daytona in the Xfinity Series. How about that? You'll see the finishing order coming across your screen to get an idea of all the roster changes, of course, and whatnot. That will help you a little bit better. But you're going to see more Xfinity Series action, and with the free camera mod, I'm hoping we can show more Xfinity races and Truck Series races that I'm not even a part of in a bit more of a realistic way. So stay tuned on that. But let's go. Sunday afternoon, Daytona 500.
It's the Great American Race, a packed grandstand here in Daytona, Florida, as over 100,000 people eagerly wait to see who wins the Daytona 500. Who should we watch out for today, Kevin?
I've got my eyes on the part-time guys today, Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin. Two huge names with nothing to lose. They will be dangerous.
All right, Gary, new season, 5 wins last year. We can do it again. New format, new schedule. Let's show them what we got.
Yeah, 10-4, James. Last year wasn't meant to be, but this is our year. I could feel it. Jay, by the way, you got me up there?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
You hear James Small, you hear myself, and our new spotter of Jay Cook, as we are ready to roll. The Daytona 500 in Season 4 is officially underway, and Bubba Wallace and Austin Cindric lead the field to the green flag as we start at the very back alongside Noah Gragson. JRM in their very first start actually have an engine change there on at the 88 car. Now, as we dive down into turn 1, a great launch off the grid here, now already gaining a few positions up the inside of our former car, the 16, of course, now driven by Josh Berry. Colleague is downgraded to just one single full-time car now as they've continued to dwindle as the seasons have gone on in this career mode. Now here comes a big shot to the back bumper there from the number 51 of Ryan Preece. Rick Ware rookie Christian Eckes dives down to the inside. We have a heck of a rookie class this season, consisting of Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez for Andretti Global alongside his teammate of Connor Zilish, as well as Jesse Love for Richard Childress Racing. William Sawala choosing the number 43 for Legacy Motor Club as Eric Jones went to the 34 for Front Row. And of course at Hendrick Motorsports, the 6th rookie, you got Rajah Caruth in the number 48. So an exciting rookie class as we saw some teams make some moves to try and leap on some of these up-and-coming prospects from the Xfinity Series, which doesn't give them a lot of time to develop. So I think you're going to see some of these rookies struggle this season, but these teams wanted to get them before other teams could jump the gun and do it before them. So we see a really interesting dynamic this season where I think you're going to see some rookies have some rough seasons, but as well you're seeing some drivers in their second seasons. Shane Van Gisbergen in his second full-time season as a Cup Series driver for Trackhouse Racing, but of course Trackhouse and Andretti Global, they're either going to be firing out of the gate strong or they're going to be really struggling with this new manufacturer coming into the Cup Series, of course, with Honda, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do. Kyle Larson there won the most recent race. He won the season finale after a heartbreaking way to go out of the playoffs. Of course, he could have been a 3-time champion if things just would have worked out a little bit differently in the very tail end of last season. Of course, we as well have a new playoff format this season if you guys have missed that in the off season. After the way Ty Gibbs won the championship, it forced NASCAR into a decision, and the decision was to keep everything the same. We're going to keep the playoffs. You win a race, you're going to be in the playoffs, but we're going to have now 12 playoff races instead of 10, which allows us to have a Final Four round consisting of 3 races instead of a 1-race winner-take-all. It's going to be the Final Four. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 3 races wins the championship. As we start lap 10, the number 17 RFK machine of Chris Buescher leading the way as we run on the way towards turn number 1. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the playoffs shake out this season, because I feel like this change could be a great change. Of course, that does mean 2 less regular season races because we still only have 36 races on the season, but that, like I said, means that we will now have 24 regular season races instead of 26. Don't you guys worry, I will be keeping you up to date on everything and making sure you guys understand what's going on as the season goes on, but we have done a just fantastic job early on moving our way forward to the inside of 2311's Corey Heim. 2311 has 4 cars in the field this weekend with Denny Hamlin as well in that 01 Coca-Cola machine, but of course just 3 full-time cars with Bubba Wallace in the 23, Tyler Reddick in the 45, and Heim in the number 11, of course, as Joe Gibbs gave that number 11 to Denny Hamlin to take with his team, of course, at 23:11 as we come through to the end of lap 15, and already green flag pit stops kicking off there. That's Sammy Smith leading this first group of cars into the pits now. My call is going to be coming in at the end of this lap.
All right, box this lap, box this lap.
You hear our crew chief James Small calling us into the pits at the end of lap 16 as we would try to make a pass on Priest. Couldn't quite make it happen, but now here we go to the outside, and we have the draft now from Denny Hamlin. That's going to allow us to clear the number 51. Hamlin retired from full-time Cup Series competition last season in our career mode, but he will be making part-time starts for his own team of 23:11 as they're all getting ready to pit. As we exit turn 4, the 0-1 slows up on our nose. We're going to take a very cautious approach here into the pits.
Okay, all good, smooth and patient here. 23 cars coming up on you, but nice entry.
A smooth entry there. It's going to be a 4-tire call, so we'll come in, get these 4 yellow stripe Goodyears off and get a brand new set of 4 yellow stripe tires on here. Now Chastain into the pits as well. We lose a bit of ground there. There goes Hamlin, goes to 98 as well of Chase Briscoe past us now, so we'll exit just in front of the 5 of Larson. The last group comes in now, consisting with our teammate of Chandler Smith, Bubba Wallace, and a few others as well. Tyler Reddick that was here now, but we rejoin with help from the number 5 of Kyle Larson, who's got those classic Hendrick Cars colors on the car. Of course, he ran a different paint scheme last season and the season before. Now you got that classic livery on that car now as we come through to start lap 18. A bunch of cars coming out of the pits, including defending champ and our teammate of Ty Gibbs. We're going to be just outside the top 10, up into P11. Now trouble behind into turn 1. Joey Logano goes around into the first turn. I believe he ran into a car that was merging back onto the track, and the caution flies. For the first time this season and in the Daytona 500, Martin Truex Jr. in the number 7 leads the way for Junior Motorsports. Now we'll get a look at the replay, and sure enough, Logano runs into Tyler Reddick, wrecks himself basically, crashes down onto the apron, slides back up, and the caution flies, which puts us P11 for the first restart of this Daytona 500, and that awkward timing of the caution is only going to leave 2 laps of racing here in this first and opening stage. Now with the playoff format change, nothing else changes in terms of stages or anything like that. Of course, the stages are the same. You're going to pick up playoff points, you're going to pick up stage points as well throughout this regular season. The only difference with that playoff format is quite simply the fact that the Final Four is now 3 races instead of 1, and of course if a Final Four driver wins the race, they're not going to of course win a championship out of it. They have to have the consistency all that round and have the most points at the end of that round. You might be wondering, how am I doing it? The game can't do it. I just have to do it manually, but it's not that difficult now as we stay to the inside and look at the ground we're gaining coming to the final lap of stage number 1 to the inside of the 27 Andretti Global Machine of Sammy Smith, and his second season runs us down the track. What was he doing right there?
I got no idea, man. Just push forward here.
We continue on the run through 1 and 2. Not quite sure what that was with the 27 of Sammy Smith, but how about Martin Truex Jr. and the debut in the Cup Series for Junior Motorsports? They lead at the end of stage 1 with half a lap to go. Can they hang on the run down the back stretch towards turns 3 and 4? William Byron in that Exalta, white Exalta paint scheme actually this season, replicating his IRL scheme thanks to Tyler Tinsley. Now, as you can see, some stacking up behind us as we exit turn 4, run to the back of the 98. We'll look to the inside, but it's going to be Martin Truex Jr. coming through to win stage number 1 for Junior Motorsports. We got the 98 right at the line. That puts us P4 in this first and opening stage. Hamlin, Busher, Byron, Ty Gibbs, Christian Eckes all inside the top 10 there behind us, as well as you see the rest of the order on the left side of the screen, setting us up well for stage number 2, where we gain 1 spot in front now of Ryan Preece, or alongside I should say, starting behind that 7 of Martin Truex Jr. We're back underway in stage 2 of this Daytona 500 is rolling. Up here as well, the 27 of Sammy Smith. You got the 98 of Chase Briscoe. What can Briscoe do now that he's got a car that's capable of running up front? RFK last season didn't quite have the playoff run they wanted, but we know it's a strong team. Of course, with Keselowski winning last season. He told me last episode of the preseason he's retiring at the end of the season and he's trying to recruit me to his team. That's a topic for another time. Let's amp it up here in Daytona.
Okay, all clear here. 7 leading the top. He looks strong.
In command of the Daytona 500 on lap 2 of stage 2. Truex leads that top lane, your stage 1 winner, showing some strengths, and Junior Motorsports out of the gate looking strong as a team. But with our part-time cars, we exit turn 4, and we're doing a great job showing, what this new Toyota Camry body is capable of doing as well. Speaking of maybe car bodies, or maybe not car bodies, but paint schemes, you're seeing all the paint schemes around us. I am going to have the Season 4 paint schemes in a Google Drive like I did last season. That should be going out with this episode launching as well, and there will be a description post in the description. There will be a link is what I'm trying to say there now, as to how about this. The 98 actually did not stick with me on the exit of turn 2, and he hangs us out to dry. To the lead goes Chase Briscoe. Here comes Denny Hamlin now as I get picked up by the 15 of Christian Eckes. Noah Gragson up here in the mix, but it didn't take me long to get right to the back of the 98, just staying on the inside. The 7 drop backwards. The next thing you know, I'm again fighting for the lead of this Daytona 500. We take the lead here now, and here comes Denny Hamlin looking for his 4th Daytona 500 of his Cup Series career. Of course, now retired from full-time Cup Series competition, and he missed the playoffs last season in his final season, but he did eventually pick up a win in the Southern 500 there at Darlington Raceway now. But you can see being up at the top, we have dropped back. Here comes the Legacy Motor Club 43 rookie of William Sawalich. Did not win the championship in the Xfinity Series after winning, 7 or 8 races as an Xfinity Series rookie for Joe Gibbs Racing, but he looks so strong in the Xfinity Series. I cannot wait to see what he can do here in the Cup Series. Of course, the Xfinity Series champion last season was Jesse Love, a Joe Gibbs driver anyways, but he only had 1 win compared to Sawalich's 7 or 8. Crash! Chastain and Honda goes around early on, collecting the number 11 rookie of Corey Heim for 23-11, and the caution is out for the second time here today for cause now, and it looked like Chastain, very simply, might have blown a tire there. Well, that is exactly what happened. I can confirm. He blew a right rear, and around he went, and Chastain is going to be the first DNF of the day as we maintain P3. Not the start to the season that Trackhouse would want with Ross Chastain. Of course, a lot of things to figure out for that team this season. What can Shane Van Gisbergen do? He is, of course, going to be looking for more consistency. He was so strong at the road courses. He picked up 2 wins last season, 1 on the road course at Sonoma, and a very just epic duel against myself, actually. That was race 2 of the season, Sonoma a little bit later in the season. Now, if you want to see the schedule again for the season, go check out the off-season video. I'll put that in the description down below in case you missed it and want to see everything that you might be wondering about coming into this season. Look at the start for Briscoe and myself, but Kyle Larson quickly to the back of me at the end of the straightaway. They're all engulfed back there in a big pack with William Sawalich in command of that, but now Larson to my back bumper here. Now he's still looking for his first win on a plate track now. As we look to the inside, the 98 went to the top. We side draft, we pull him backwards now to the lead again with 10 laps to go in stage number 2. We only have 9 laps of fuel. We cannot make it to the end of the stage, but nobody pitted, so that makes me feel at least a little bit better, but we're going to need a caution to be able to make it on fuel by either pitting or that caution alone. We wouldn't even have to pit. We could still make it to the end of the stage, but of course if a caution comes out, we will pit, and I'm sure everybody else will. But now it's just about commanding this field, going back and forth between the lines. There's no point in throwing any bad blocks right now, and that would allow actually the 5 of Kyle Larson to my outside, but Martin Truex Jr. again into the mix. But here comes pole sitter of Bubba Wallace in that number 23 Mobil 1 Toyota Camry. How about Larson with a heck of a run? Clears me with 7 to go in stage 2, but he leaves the inside open again. I say thank you very much. I'll just go back to the bottom. So here we go for the lead again now through 1 and 2. Can we clear them? Yes, we can, and we are establishing early on, about just short of halfway, that we have one of the best cars here today, and we are certainly one of the favorites to win this Daytona 500. We've been trying now for 3 full seasons. It has not been successful. Is the 4th time instead of the 3rd time the charm? We're going to find out. Is the caution's going to fly fly. The caution that we needed, and it's actually for Zane Smith for Front Row Motorsports there with a blown tire, and that brings out the third caution for cause here now, as that's going to bring everybody into the pit lane for 4 tires and fill it up and stack them up again here. Denny Hamlin gains 1 spot over Todd Gilliland in the number 2 for Penske Racing there. Hamlin up to P7 just behind Noah Gragson as we'll get ready to go racing from the control position. P1 on the inside, row number 1. It's going to be 3 laps to go in stage 2 compared to the 2 laps that we had in stage number 1, but I am absolutely loving this car so far. I feel like we can really put it wherever we need to put it. It's got a lot of speed. It's got a lot of everything here. It seems to be very good commanding a field, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to timing out runs and whatnot. So when 2 AIs get connected, they can really go. So you just got to make sure that you're covering off the right lane at the right time. Here comes Denny Hamlin up to 3rd already. He restarted P7. He's P3 down this back straightaway. What a launch for the 0-1, but look at this. Through 3 and 4, they all go up to the outside. Here I am on the inside driving 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 car lengths away even, and that would allow Noah Gragson to go through on the inside and run me down, while all those guys on the top, Sawalich, Briscoe, Hamlin, they all went backwards. And now here comes Junior Motorsports Gragson and the 24 of William Byron to my right rear quarter panel as we approach the end of stage number 2, coming to 1 lap to go. The 3 of Austin Hill in the mix as well. If you missed the news there early on, we talked about it, and we talked about it many times last season. Of course, Kevin Harvick and Austin Dillon go into a management role there as Richard Childress steps down, as an 88 of Gregson snuck to my inside there to start stage 2's final lap. We're going to now be committed to the back of the 24. Here comes RCR's Alex Bowman. We were just talking about the 3, but there's the 31. Of course, 3 full-time cars for that team as we roll through turns 3 and 4. The 33 of Jesse Love being that 3rd full-time driver, but we're going to lose the win in stage 2, and instead it's going to be a Junior Motorsports stage 1 and 2 sweep with Noah Gragson taking the green-white checkered. And that's going to be stage win for Gragson. P4 for us in both stages so far, as Christopher Bell joins us with Joe Gibbs Racing up here in the top 10. But of course, we have an alliance teammate with William Sawalich in P10 for Legacy Motor Club. Everybody's going to pit again here for 4 tires. Fill it up on field. Chastain up at the bottom of the grid, the only DNF so far. Shane Van Gisbergen, Tyler Reddick, Rajah Caruth there, P37 through 39th as well, as we'll get ready to go for stage 3. We gained 1 spot in the pit lane over William Byron. Our pit crew was great last season, and immediately we're seeing it again this season. Just picking up 1 position here and there makes a huge difference. Now the 3rd and final stage of this season for Daytona 500 is already underway, and that leaves us with 23 laps to go. Definitely got to watch out for us in the 19. We've been strong. How about Christopher Bell? 3 wide through the middle in our rear view mirror. I was about to point out not him, but the 15 here, the rookie of Christian Eckes. He started a little ways down the order like myself, but we have seen him running up front a lot. But Bell's 3 wide move really slowing some cars down back there behind us now, as we're going to be side by side with the 31 of Alex Bowman down this back straightaway. Side draft him a little bit, get at his corner, and here comes the push from the 15. Gragson, is he going to cover it off? No, he's not. He's going to leave it open. And look at us breeze past the Bass Pro Shops number 88 Chevrolet Camaro in what could be the final season for Camaro in the NASCAR Cup Series. Stay tuned on that one, but certainly some potential interesting things are on the way now that we have found ways to get car models into NASCAR Heat 5. Now, of course, if you want the Toyota Camry car model, unfortunately, you are going to have to pay for it. I can link down below the contact for that, as the caution actually is going to fly, and it's for the 45 of Tyler Reddick with a potential tire failure again here now. Another caution strikes, but nobody's going to pit, because if we pit now, we could not make it to the end of this race. I like where we're at. We're in control of this race. We got the 34 now of Eric Jones. Of course, new ride for him this season after his several seasons there with Legacy Motor Club behind the wheel of the number 43. Now as we are back underway, and it's going to be a little bit over 15 laps of racing to go. So, of course, we just only need to run about 2 or 3 more laps, and then we're going to be inside of the fuel window. But will we see green flag pit stops? We saw them in stage 1, so we know it can't be ruled out. We know it's very possible. We'll have to wait and see as this stage goes on. Could be another caution, could be a crash. We'll have to wait and see, but we have, of course, seen a couple of incidents, but a few tire failures as well that have brought out cautions. But the 22 of Logano with that self-inflicted incident accident in stage 1 at the end of the green flag pit cycle, and Chastain losing a tire, taking out himself and a couple cars, including Corey Heim as well in the number 11. Now, excited to see what Corey Heim's going to be able to do in that number 11 car as well this season here. Is how about Christian Eckes again? We talked about him earlier, running in second place. Chase Briscoe in the 98 RFK Ford Mustang, the new driver there. He's been running pretty good as the new driver for that team, but here comes Martin Truex Jr. again. When time starts to tick, we get closer to the end of this race. We know that number 7 strong, and he's showing it. He's back into the mix with 16 laps to go. About one more lap, 2 laps really to be safe. We'll be within that field window. But now Truex to the outside. Here comes Todd Gilliland in the number 2 as well, but here comes the 15 to my back bumper. He's going to give us a shove on the exit of turn 2 down this backstretch to keep us relatively even, with the 7 just kind of hanging at his left rear quarter panel. But that's what the 7's capable of, even without assistance. He's got nobody pushing him. That shows you how much speed that number 7 of Truex has. But now, as we roll through 3 and 4, it wouldn't be enough to clear him. We would be side by side for another lap here on the exit of turn 4, coming to lap 56. Now the 15 actually turns us sideways. Eckes through, now into the middle with the 2 helping him. Here comes the 22 of Logano now to my back bumper, and he actually turns me down the track as well as we keep it straight, fortunately, and we're still to the inside of the 2 car, and now the 15, he's actually going to leave the inside open. Logano going to look to my back bumper, give us a bit of a shot here on the exit of turn 2 and back to the inside, and somehow, after all of that, we're going to return to the lead of this Daytona 500, where we will absolutely take that. Here comes Denny Hamlin as well, briefly into the mix now. A little bit over 10 laps to go. We can pit at any point. We'll be good to go at this point now as well. But obviously, just looking at the trends of this race, at least basically after that first set of green flags pit cycles, we're gonna see that caution is out again, and it's actually for the 48 of Rajah Carut there blowing a tire as well, and that's gonna bring everybody into the pit lane. But we have a decision to make.
Okay, Gary, I imagine everyone is going to take no tyres or 2 tyres here. Yeah. What do you think of taking 4? I think you have the speed to make up the positions, and you'll be able to do more with the car.
I mean, I say do it. I think if I could do more, it's just going to be better for us there at the end of the race. So I think I can make him up. We'll probably lose, 10 spots?
Yeah, you'll restart 10th to 15th or so. Okay, let's do it.
Everybody wants to sit right here at the end of the day. Victory Lane Gatorade. Victory Lane here in Daytona International Speedway. So we're taking 4 tires. While everyone does something different, we're going to be P16. As you can see, a little bit of position shuffling. Byron gains 4, but I'm confident this is a move that's going to help us greatly in these closing 10 laps. Now it's Joey Logano, Christian Eckes who lead the field back to green. We're racing 3 wide already at the back. It looks like Connor Zilish there, Corey Heim as well. We're on the back of the pole winner of Bubba Wallace. A bit of some just disorganization behind us. Not sure what happened with the 12 of Ryan Blaney now, as he was so close to making the Final 4 last season. What a consistent season it was for a driver that only won, one race, I think? But he had a really consistent season and was only about a car length away from being in the Final 4 with a win in Homestead, Miami. But it was Bubba Wallace who was able to hold him off and get the only win for 23XI Racing last season. Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace both have higher expectations this season. And honestly, I think with Denny Hamlin now being able to commit more as an owner instead of a full-time driver, he's still going to be running some part-time races for that team. I think 23XI Racing could eventually find themselves right on par with Joe Gibbs Racing this season now, as we've gotten to the inside. But we got to be patient, but patiently aggressive. We've only got 9 laps to go as we head down this back straightaway. The whole field there led by Joey Logano into turn number 3, but now he's actually got Jesse Love to his inside. Jesse Love, the Richard Childress rookie, to the lead, and now of course the Xfinity Series champion. As we continue to follow the 31 of Alex Bowman, there's our teammate of Ty Gibbs, defending Cup Series champion. I was quite disappointed, honestly, with Gibbs winning the championship. We came into the Cup Series in the same season, a part of this career mode storyline. We had, of course, our back and forths between myself and Gibbs. It felt like there was a bit of a rivalry there, and at the end of the day, although we had the better season, he ends up winning the championship before we end up winning a Cup Series championship. So certainly lights a even further spark for me to have an even better season, and most importantly win a championship. Now as I'm going to try and fake out the 31, dive to the inside there. There we go, 3 wide with Bowman and Busher. It's all single file in the top 5 as we're going to close up right to the back of our teammate of Christopher Bell on the exit of turn 2. Jump up to the outside, Logano back to the inside into the lead over Jesse Love. We might clear the 20. We're going to make a bold, aggressive move, 3 wide to the inside. The 98 of Chase Briscoe, who's been up here all race long, it feels like, as well, trying to keep himself in position, but he's now 3 wide in the middle. We've got the 20 of Bell to help us now. 2 Joe Gibbs cars lined up on the inside. That's a worst case scenario for the 22 Penske driver of Joey Logano, who looks to win the Daytona 500 here now with 5 laps to go. We have seen underdog winners in this 500 many times now. Last season, it was Todd Gilliland who won the Daytona 500 right to the back of the 22. I couldn't make a move there, but we're going to get connected to the 22, dive back down to the inside, but it wasn't until the front straightaway, lap 66 coming to 67. We got close, but not close enough to get to his inside. We're not going to make the pass on the top. It has to be on the inside. We got 4 laps to make this happen here, and I don't want to wait around because if a caution comes out, we'll be on the outside for a 2-lap dash. I don't want to be on the outside, so here we go to the inside with 3.5 laps to go. Not enough. That 22's got some raw speed in it, and I've just got no help right now. There's not a lot going on up here, a lot of single file. So down the back straightaway again, we're a little bit further away, which gives us a little bit larger of a run. We learned to the inside, but now to the yellow line. We'll jump back up onto his quarter panel, pull him back, now side draft him, and hopefully our teammate of Christopher Bell is going to give us the shove that we need to put us through clear into the lead of the 500, and that's exactly what we get. To the lead we go and clear of Logano with 2 laps to go once we cross the stripe in the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, looking at a potential Canadian winner as we have 2 laps to go. Christopher Bell, heartbreak, as it looked like the championship might have been his last season until, of course, the strategy controversy, as it was him and Elliott all race long. He, of course, feels like he was robbed of a championship, and I'm sure Elliott feels the same with 2 to go. Here comes a 31, 3 lanes coming now. Here comes Eric Jones in the middle with his new team. That car won the 500 last season with Todd Gilliland. Half a car length, 3/4 and nearly clear, but the 20 gets back to me. Logano's glued to the back of the 31 of Alex Bowman as we exit turn 4, and still Logano's all over my jump up side draft on the 31, jumping back down to the inside. White flag in Daytona, and Alex Bowman is clear, but the 22 isn't, and that's going to be crucial. Now he is, but he can't get down. Bell again to the back bumper now. What a bunch of help he's giving me, but now he gets pulled backwards now as we have the draft from the 31. We drive the 22 a little ways up the track to kind of make him back out. It's myself and Bowman. Who's going to get it now? They fight side by side behind. We have a huge run on the back of the 31. We jump to the inside. Bowman leaves it open, but now it's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Can we get help or not? We're going to need help, I think, because Bowman has more momentum. We jump up right on his door. We side draft. Here comes Christopher Bell to the back of us now in this number 19. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Bowman has speed side by side, and we're going to come through to win.
Let's go, baby. Come on, guys. Come on. Unbelievable. Daytona 500 champions.
Holy let's go, Gary. Unbelievable.
That was a great drive today, Gary. Thank you. Go celebrate the biggest win of your career.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everybody on this team. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thank you, guys.
We finally win a crown jewel in the Daytona 500. Unbelievable. I didn't think we were going to do it, and we did it by just a few 1,000ths of a second over Alex Bowman. What a finish. Logano, Bell, Jones in the top 5. We owe a huge thank you to our teammate of Christopher Bell as you see the finishing order on your screen. How about Christian Eckes in the top 10? Such an impressive drive as Chase Briscoe fell outside of the top 10. You see all the other finishing positions there. Briscoe actually dropped to 23rd in just a few laps. What a downfall for him. Pole winner Bubba Wallace 35th, Heim in 36th. Kyle Busch was the last running there in 38th. Disappointing start for him after a winless season. And of course, Carruth and Chastain, the 2 DNFs on the day. What a start to season 4. We immediately relieve the stress, but it's not over. We have to go and pick up as many playoff points and as many wins as we can in this regular season. Last season we had 5 wins. We've got 1 already and just 1 race complete. It's going to be a heck of a season. A lot of stories, a lot of drama, and I'm sure a lot of action. And it all kicks off here today today in Daytona with an incredible finish, a photo finish, to start Season 4. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.